magic from him, perhaps. It's a good ball. Grayson. It goes towards Owen Roy. Brilliant save indeed. Wolves have scored. Leicester City are in dreamland now. Vardy in the middle. This could be a huge moment. Vardy scored. And it's pandemonium in Leicester.
Mahrez with his left. Albrighton with his right. It is Mahrez. It's a good ball in. Morgan's there. It's in. Leicester City score. It is a captain's goal from Wes Morgan, who lifted the Premier League trophy in May. He might have played a big part now in taking Leicester City through to the quarter-finals of the Champions League.
Lift the trophy to the skies. Leicester City are the champions of the Premier League. 5,000 to 1.
Good evening and welcome back to Blue Tinted Glasses for the Fans Calling Show, Monday night Fans Calling Show, where Leicester City fans all around the world can come and have their say about anything they want, really. The preseason game, the new manager, the transfer window. There is a poll in the chat about the transfer window and whether we should accept, lower than what we expect for players. So let us know what you think to that. But before we get into it all, Kate has joined me today. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. Thanks. How are you?
All good. Ready for some more chaos on this Monday night. I'm sure there'll be some. By the way, just looking at some of the people's, I'm looking forward to getting Craig on because I want to know where he is because it looks bloody beautiful wherever he is in the world. Right. Let's start tonight with first-time caller. Actually, before we bring him on, it is going to be Elm. But yeah, we'll bring you on in just a second. Before I do that, though, JC74, even all assuming we sell Ndidi and that is all profit and have to accept 20 million for Mads. Hopefully, we won't be forced to a fire sale of Bilal. Yeah, evening to you, Kunal. Hope you're doing well. Same to you, Josh. Banana, Zola, Valtteri. I love that name, man. It reminds me of Bottas in Formula One. Valtteri Bottas. Anyway, right. We're going to go to our first caller. Kate, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go. Let's bring him in. What's going on, mate? How are you?
Evening. How we doing?
All good. Welcome to the channel. Nice to have you on, mate. I know I was pestering you on the weekend. Make sure you call in on Monday, and you've done as you said.
Calling me out.
Yeah, I did call you out. Yeah, sorry about that. You had no choice. Talk to you, mate. I mean, how are you feeling about Leicester at the moment? Positive? Because I feel like there's a lot of positivity going around, which is very different to what it was this time last month. A lot of people seem quite positive.
Well, I'll be honest. I said over the weekend that I sort of hate and love the fact that I'm excited for the season because realistically, the only thing that's changed is we've got a manager. But other than that, it's been no change whatsoever. So I'm in that sort of 50-50 mindset of being like, yeah, I can't wait for Marty to get into the players and have a style of football that we can all agree with and enjoy potentially. But also the shit show behind the scenes hasn't changed. And it's not ideal, to be honest, but that's football, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Kate, I know you're always pestering me and a couple others saying, be positive, come on, But now I think we actually do have something to be positive about. We've got the manager through the door. A lot of fans, are happy with the style of football that will bring. It's not as rigid and, as patient as Enzo Ball, for example. It does seem more attacking, and I think that's exciting.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it also helps when you actually have a mental break from watching football every week and the dire 6 months that we've had of football where you just kind of reset, drown out the noise in the summer and then think, actually, I really miss just watching football. And I think that's where the excitement comes back again. Like it is a while since the end of May. You can probably argue it's probably since the back end of last year we've watched a proper football match, maybe excusing the Spurs performance. So, yeah, I think that often comes into it as well, that you feel like the grass is always greener because you've not had it in your life for a couple of months. And we've now got a new feeling about the place with the guy in charge that seems to have gotten a real good grip on some of the squad already. So many kids that we've seen already being played, which is amazing. So it feels a bit different, doesn't it? So I think that's why it's why people are feeling a bit more excited.
Let me ask you, Steve, because I know you've been in the group chat and you've seen all the conversations going on today that we've been having about like Mads in particular. So I'll ask you the question that is in the poll in the chat. Some clubs will smell blood with Leicester City and they'll see that we've suffered a relegation. They'll see that we've suffered with PSR problems and stuff like that. They will offer lower than market value for some of our players. We've been talking today in the chat about, you know, how much Hermansson's worth. What's your take on this? Would you accept lower than market value for some of our players to avoid any more PSR concerns and maybe get some money back into the squad? Or would you play hardball and you know, just wait patiently, wait for the right money and potentially risk more PSR problems?
It's a rock and a hard place situation, isn't it, really? Because, you know, Mads Hermansson, up until sort of December last year, was a 35 to 40 million pound goalkeeper quite easily. And on his days, he's one of the better goalkeepers in the Premier League. But since he came back from injury, he looked a bit shaky, and then he got injured again or had surgery again. So, you know, he's not really played a lot. My main worry is that if we don't sell players for not even market value, because I think Mads is worth sort of 30 million plus for sure. But if you can get 25 in this economy, then fine. It means that we can use that money to invest in players and in areas that are more needing of investment. So yeah, it's a real difficult one because I think we should be holding out for more money for these players. But are you going to hinder the development of potential transfers by holding on to them for longer? And let's be honest here, we're probably going to be a late transfer window club at this point for this season. You know, we're already into near the end of July. The season starts in 20 odd days. We're not going to be bringing in lots of players before the start of the season. So the chances are we'll be looking at bargains towards the end of the transfer window. And I don't think we actually need that many signings anyway, but there are areas that definitely do need to be improved. So yeah, it is a difficult one for sure, but give me the money.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to come to you on this question afterwards because I need to ask Steve something before we let him go and go to the next caller. Because Steve, you've been all over this sponsor thing online. You got in touch with the guy. Is it does he work for the Guardian?
Yeah, Philippe Auclair, he's their sort of financial expert in the Guardian. He's called out FIFA and betting sponsorships and stuff before.
So he's been doing some digging. He's obviously released an article which I'll link it later in the video in the stream. But is his opinion right that this is illegal? This is an illegal company. Is that right?
Oh no, I mean, there's no doubt that they're an illegal company because they don't have any licenses where they claim they have licenses. In the Philippines, there is no licensed betting agency in the Philippines because at the beginning of the year, I don't know who was in charge, but they wiped them all. So they can't be in the Philippines. There's no Caracas or whatever they're called. There's nobody there. So and they've not got a license in the UK. So yes, they are technically illegal in the UK. So, you know, but if you read the article, since 2016, we've had the most illegal, quote unquote, betting sponsors out of anybody in the English Premier League and below. So there is a history there that dates back before Top's time, which, you know, is worrying, but maybe they're just trying to get in as much money as they can. And I guess if they're over in the Southeast Asia area, if you can find a company that will give you money, then maybe it's looked at differently compared to here. But, you know, I see a lot of people saying that, well, we're sponsored by Sky Bet in the Championship, but they're a regulated British or Irish company. That, you know, they live by rules and laws, whereas these companies abroad don't follow those laws and you know, and regulations and stuff. So they shouldn't really be advertising in the UK. but they do because the market is so big in that type of the world. And, if you want to go and betting on cockfighting, then by all means, be my guest. But I'd rather it not be linked to Leicester City,
I was gonna bring that up. Okay, I don't know if you knew that. Well, so my terrible mind, when I saw that K-Bet offered cockfighting, I thought it was something completely different to what it actually is. So yeah,
You like make it legal.
yeah. I was like, where can I partake in this activity? No, but so yeah, I didn't think, oh no, it's not. Yeah, anyway, so I did find that funny when I saw they do that. But yeah, well, thank you, Steve, because I know you've been messaging this guy, and I know he's released that article today, and it's his opinion that potentially the reason for the delay in the shirt release is because of the sponsor, and maybe they're trying to wriggle their way out of a deal. Who knows? We'll find out soon, I'm sure. But I will link the article anyway.
Yeah. Just before I go, what I will say, I think the biggest thing that we should take away from that article in particular is that we've had our collar felt by the Gambling Association of the UK.
Yes.
I think that's been sort of looked over a little bit there. And if we then get into bed with another shady gambling company, it's only going to get worse. You can get your collar felt, but they're not going to let it go a second time, are they? So,
yeah, for sure, mate. Right. Thank you for calling, Steve. Much appreciated, mate. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. All right, mate.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Nice one, mate. See you in a bit. Cheers to Steve. Right, now I'll ask you for your answer, Kate. So where's your head at with the question in the poll? Accept lower market values now for players to just steer clear of any PSR issues, or play hard ball and make teams pay as much as they can, and if they can't, then keep the players.
Yeah, I think in our situation right now, I think a bird in the hand is worth everything, because we're talking about money that can potentially go into the kitty to then, like, if you get 35 million for Mads, 35 million then on a striker, that could make you lick your lips a bit, really, because that's the more important position. You could get a number 2 goalkeeper for way cheaper than 35 million, because I think Jakob's going to be number 1, and so he should be. He's not a poor man's Mads at all, really. So I would rather have, if money's offered on the table, we're not in a position where beggars can't be choosers. We need the money in the club in the here and now. And I know what people will say about the business side of it, that you shouldn't sell your assets below market rate, but at the end of the day, the market rate is only determined by what someone is willing to pay you for your asset. And that is regardless of what you think they're valued at. We're not in that instance anymore where Harry Maguire was worth 100 million to us. We know Harry Maguire wasn't worth 100 million pounds, but he was to us, and we were hard fought to get that money. So we're not in that ballpark anymore. We're not even in that universe. So I would much rather have the bird in the hand and have the cash in the hand to then spend on more necessary parts of the squad.
Well, the rumor is that Begovic is coming on the free agent. So think of it this way: you get let's just say 30 million for Mads. Jakob is the starting keeper next year. You've got your third choice or your second choice in Begovic. You've got 30 million then that's come in. 10 million of that on a striker. 20 million in the bank. There you go. So, yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. God knows what they're actually going to do, and God knows who's going to bid for him. I just want to avoid any loans with options to buy and all of that nonsense. If a player goes, we want the cash up front. I think that's fair.
And also the critical point is that if someone offers 30 million for Mads this year and people are thinking, well, just hold out till next year, we might be a Premier League club and it's a different opposition and it's a different opportunity. But at the same time, Mads could get a life-changing injury this season.
Yeah.
There's always the risk that something could happen to the player. So you have to take that on board as well. But also if those clubs that wanted to buy him this year clearly need a number 1 keeper, the people that are in the hat for him, if they're off the table this year, they might not be suitable buyers next year. It's a real risk.
Yeah, I agree. Right, over to our next caller. We're going to have to go to Craig next. Craig, get ready, mate. We're going to come to you next. I can't wait to find out where he is. Look at that. Where are you, mate?
Hello, Locks. Hello, Kate. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, mate. Where are you? Tell us.
I'm in Branson, Missouri right now and having a little
Nice.
holiday.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Yeah,
The weather
absolutely.
looks good.
Yeah, it's only 100 degrees, so we're like what 33 Celsius, 34 Celsius. So just a normal summer day for you guys, right?
It looks like
Yeah.
it's keeping nice and cool there as well.
Yeah, very
Hey,
nice.
as long as you got a pool, you're good, right?
Yeah, make sure to keep them nips covered, mate. Yeah. Talk to us, mate. How are you feeling about Leicester at the moment, then, mate?
So, a couple of things concerning is I was a little confused by the lineups, right? So for Saturday with the both the first half and the second half, we seem to be playing a lot of older clients, older veterans. So Cody, Vestergaard, IU, etc. And I know what IU scored, but still, if we're looking for guys to sell like Cody, Vestergaard, Ndidi, etc., is there a reason why we're playing those versus playing the younger players to get them the experience? Are we looking to get them exposure so we can get more money for them? What do you guys take on that?
I don't know about UK, but I kind of took Saturday's match as just an opportunity for the manager to take a look at everybody, because this Connor Cody to Rangers stuff's gone quiet. I don't know if that's because of the Rangers side or the Leicester side. If you believe reports, it seems more on the Rangers side. It sounds like Leicester do want him to go. Mutual agreement on all of that. But Marty's come into the club. He might see some of these players that we hate or that we don't like, and he might think, you know what, you fit what I want to do pretty well, and I want to keep you around. And I think there is an expectation from some fans that will be the case with Yannick Vestergaard, for example, because of the way he plays, because of how good he is with his feet for a defender in the Championship. So I wouldn't be surprised if he starts for Leicester City come the first game against Sheffield Wednesday. But yeah, go on. I'll hand it to you, Kate, because that's what I think it is. I just think he wanted to have a look at everybody.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's going to be a real mix of youth and experience, and it's always a lot of the old dogs that bring you up in the Championship, because it's just their experience and it's almost hard-nosed approach to the league that gets you up. So I think it is just him wanting to take a look. He will know a lot of the players reasonably well, because some of these have been around the block a bit. He'll have played against them as well. He'd have probably had a look at them a bit last year in the cup. So I think he'll probably just want to see if there's any other positions that they can be played in, especially with Ayew. Now with Vardy gone, Ayew's the natural choice at the moment as a striker, because Daka's just not there. And also we've got an abundance of wingers and fringe players that I think he'll want to look at as well. Again, a mixture of youth being, under 18 to youth being under 23. So he's got a real choice on his hands, really. So he'll want to look at everybody, give everybody a fair crack as well. That's what most managers would probably want to do when they come in. They want to be friends with everybody. They want to make sure everyone's heard and seen. So I think that's probably what he's doing at the moment, is a bit of a fact-finding exercise, I guess.
I was going to say as well, Craig, that, from all the teams that we saw, give me 1 second. There we go. So, the starting 11 was there. And then in the second half, of course, it was a brand new starting 11, which was this one: Jake Evans, Will Alves, Mavididi. But Will Alves, for example, he only lasted 20 minutes and Jake Evans, because he then brought on Abdul Fatawu and Lewis Page. So I think it was just trying to see as many names as possible in that 90 minutes. It wasn't a 4-hour game like it was the week before, which was just that was rough.
Very
to watch.
brutal.
But yeah, I mean, there's one name, Craig, that we can be positive about: Abdul Fatawu making his return to the team. Wow.
Absolutely. So that was probably, I was looking for men in the matches, obviously, for first half, second half. Men in the match, obviously, for first half would be Jeremy Manga. I mean, how can you doubt that? But for the second half, it has to be Fatawu, not just because of what he did, but just his appearance and the fact that he's recovering so quickly from that ACL, and what he looked like recovering from that. He looked so sharp, even though he didn't score. Even though he may have not have done some things that we expected to do, he did look very sharp. And against a team that was obviously not as superior, say, to Leicester or another Premier League team or Championship team, he looked excellent. So A positive takeaway is Fatu. Let's ease him back into the lineup. Let's not start him. Let's not get into the full 90. But, hey, let's ease him back in. But he looked great. He's definitely man of the match for the second half.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree. It was great to see him. It was great to see him back on the pitch, running at his man, cutting inside on his left, having a pop-up goal, which I know Enzo, used to get really frustrated with when he'd do it 5 times a match. But, he'll score 1 in 10 or whatever. But yeah, I agree with you. Right, Craig, I'm going to let you go, mate. Thank you so much for calling. What have you?
Stop looking at he's got the whole pool to himself.
Well, there's other people here, but they're just not around me. But it's early in the morning. But hey, one last thing. More Kate, less Ragsy. All right, there we go. That's all I got to say right there.
Thank you. You're my favorite.
Nice one. Yeah, we love you, Ragsy. We love you, Ragsy. Nice one, Craig. Okay, right. I'm late to the party. Have you guys been talking about King Power going under? No, we haven't. We're being positive where we can. King Power haven't gone under yet. So if it does happen, though, we will talk. If there's any more developments, I haven't seen it. It's gone quiet, I think, Kate, hasn't it? All that King Power going bust.
They accepted the rental negotiation, didn't they? Airports of Thailand. So, they got the first obstacle was overcome for the new chairman. So yeah, they'll just be trying to get to grips with that, I think, at the moment.
Yeah. What's the parachute payment for? Can we use this to buy? My understanding, Adrian, is that the parachute payments are all tied up in loans that we've taken out. Yeah. So, yeah.
Delegated club, isn't it? The cost is so much in loss of revenue that you have to then borrow and secure it against future income from that to kind of try and stay afloat and give yourself a boost for the season to get up.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next up is one of my favorite callers. He is one of my favorite callers, and I mean this. He's always brilliant, and it is Joe. So we're going to get Joe on in just a second. I really hope Fatawu will be back in time for the new. Yeah, I mean he's back. He's being eased in now, so yeah, he'll be ready for the new season.
Isn't he?
Yeah, totally. Right, let's bring in Joe. Here he is. What's going on, mate? You're on mute. No.
You can hear me now.
There you go.
How's it going, guys? All right.
All good, mate.
Nice to chat to you, Kate. I've obviously seen you a lot on Lox's channel and various other channels, so nice to finally get to speak to you. But no, I just wanted to talk a couple of things, really. I was very impressed with the performance from both sets of teams in terms of first half, second half. On Saturday, I thought what was brilliant was you could really see the ideas that Marty was trying to implement. Thought the pressing, we are going to be a high intense team this year. I think we really went after it. And do you know what, guys? And I just want to get your opinion on it. But the pressing, we didn't really see that under Rude, not that level. Every time their players had the ball, whether it be the back line, middle of the pitch, there seemed to be 3-4 guys around the player really trying to press that, And what's funny, Lox, right? Because I was actually watching your stream as well as watching the game on YouTube, right? And I made a fool's error because I said, you know what? I don't think Dak has been that bad. And I literally typed the comment. And as soon as I typed the comment, he missed that shot and somehow got a corner from it. So, but no, you guys, what did you actually think of the tactical nous that Marty was showing and how we're going to set up? Because I was very impressed.
Well, mate, I'm happy with it. And Thomas has done me a favour here already. The 3 Ps, which I keep going on about: possession, pressing, and positioning. And I think you could see it all. Marty actually spoke after the game as well in his interview, and he said, we don't have possession to control the game, which is the difference with Enzo. Enzo Maresca wants as much as the ball. He wants possession so they can control the game. They don't want to lose the ball, right? They want to be patient and make sure they keep hold of it and create something. Whereas on the flip side, Marty said it,
which can be boring at times.
Exactly. Whereas Marty, it came out of Marty's mouth, right? After the game, he said, we want the ball so we can attack. It's that simple. And I think you saw that, right? We lost the ball. Yeah, we lost the ball so much. We turned it over so often but they weren't scared of doing that because they wanted to take the risk. They wanted to, high risk, high reward football. And just quickly, I'll just add on the pressing, like you said, when we lost the ball, the 7-second rule, 4 players swarm the opposition after they win the ball, and they try and win it back, and then they try and get back up the pitch again. So I'll go on, Kate. I'll go over to you because I know in our group chats and stuff, style of play and patient football and boring football is always a topic of conversation. And I don't think really this should be classed as boring football. I think it's exciting.
No, but what I've said before is everybody wants, the aim of the game is to score a goal. If you're going to pass it down the back 4 and maybe tap it to Ndidi or tap it to Winks, and then it goes back to Vestergaard, not only is it boring, but it shoots yourself in the foot. The end of the day is that the aim of the game is to score a goal, and you have to take an element of risk with that every single time. So that will include maybe surrendering the ball, giving away turnovers way too frequently. But I think we were able to see there a real high pressing collective, like a swarm of wasps almost, which is what you used to seeing from Man City. That's how they execute it so well. They all think together and work together as a unit, where I feel like Leicester over the past couple of seasons at times have been like a load of individuals. But for me, I think a lot of credit has to go here to Andy King, because in previous years we've had Dean Smith came in and he was appalled at the level of fitness that Brendan had left behind. Andy King has been able to get these players really fit over the past month. And I think it's been a lot to do with the weather we've had. They've been doing overseas training in the 30-degree heat that we've had, and it seems to have been some rewards. And I think that's why we've been able to press and maybe be a bit ahead of schedule where Marty expected us to be in terms of fitness, which I think Kingy alluded to last week, didn't he? He said they were about a week ahead. So that's probably been helped by the weather, actually, which might act in our favour and other teams as well. But yeah, I was really encouraged to see that out of possession, we behaved like a team. And I don't think we've done that for ages. We saw JJ hung out on a limb last year. There weren't 2 players around him helping him. It wasn't a triangle. It wasn't a 3 or a 4 helping him out. He was on his own every single time. So, maybe this guy knows that it's a team sport and you have to act as a team throughout.
Yeah, for sure. And I just wanted to also clarify something, because I know I said to you, Lox, last week about the sponsorship and that I was a bit iffy about it. I completely agree with yourself about if it's a known sponsor. I've got no problem with a sponsor actually being on the shirt. It's just the whole K-Bet thing. It really does kind of concern me that we go from, is it BG Game to what looks like K-Bet, and it just looks like, I could have made that gambling company up overnight, and it just concerns me that we are going to be going down that road. If we were to have Ladbrokes across the shirt, I wouldn't be too fussed. It's just, it does concern me that we seem to be going for these betting companies that we've never heard of, and as you put, are very big on the cockfighting. So
well, no, this is my point, mate. It's like, like you say, Ladbrokes, Betfred, Bet365, whatever. You know what I mean? I think the problem for me is the dodginess of it, and we know what happened with BC Game. I mean, when your CEO has to come out halfway through the season, trying to say that we did our due diligence and all of this, and there's probably a problem there. So, It's a tough one. I mean, if they were a legit company and all of this, then I wouldn't have any issues. But once again, it does seem like, but this is true here, as Thomas says, the dodgy gambling sponsors pay twice the amount. So the club are in a hard place with that, right? For sure. Yeah. But to be honest with you, from what I read online, like, there's a lot of people who just don't want gambling sponsors in general, which I think that's when we start talking about, well, we play in the Sky Bet Championship, and we've got beer, we've got beer on our sleeves, and people suffer with that addiction as well, and all of that. You know what I mean?
The problem is it's always going to be, it's a big money earner, isn't it? Especially like in sports, and people are always going to want to are always going to have a bit of a flutter on the football. I mean, I'm sure all of us on this panel have all done it. You have a little bit of maybe a £1, £2 bet on the football.
I think Lox went all in on cockfighting by the sounds of it, and was bitterly.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to do some searching on that. I might be quids in. Might be quids in on that one, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I've got a joke, but it's not past the watershed yet. So I'll leave that to it. I don't want to get the stream taken down, so we'll leave it there.
Late night Leicester on Thursday, mate. Late night Leicester Thursday.
Yeah, that's it. I'll make sure I make the joke in the comment section on that point. But yeah, no, I just think that just with all the financial situation coming in, just to finish off my point, with all the financial stuff that we're in, I don't think we need to add this to the list that's ever growing. To be honest, and I agree with you, Kate. I watched a stream a couple of weeks ago with exactly what you said. I just want to concentrate on the football. I'm getting fed up of the whole financial, thinking about where my club is financially. I just want to focus on, right, who we're going to play in what position, how we're going to play, are we going to be able to get promoted? Those are really that's why we all got into football, and the financial situation is just really starting to get on my nerves now. So as it is with every fan.
That's it, innit, Kate? Football's played off the pitch now, in the most part.
That's the thing. But the thing that I try and concentrate on myself is what I like about football, and that's going to games, watching my team win, lose or draw, the unpredictability of it, the goal scoring moment of it. There's no VAR this year. That's a big positive for me already. But in terms of the off the pitch stuff, you can only control what you can control. And as fans, we have zero control, absolutely zero. So there's no point getting stressed about it. There's no point believing everything that you read, because nobody really knows the ins and outs of the rules of football. And that's part of the issue with PSR. We don't know what the penalty is going to be because it's so grey and so opaque. So you may as well just think the new season's 3 weeks away. Hopefully we have an opponent in Sheffield Wednesday. Hopefully get their act together, because I don't want to see an old club go down the Swanee. No one wants to see that. I'm just looking forward to seeing the team again with a few hopefully new faces and a new manager.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
I totally agree. Right, Joe, thank you so much, mate. Good to see you
mate.
again. We'll hope
Cheers, mate. See you in a bit.
All the best. Comment of the night goes to Scott here. Got no issues with gambling sponsors, as you can win 200 grand using them. Trevor needs to bring back Walkers and Le Coq Sportif. There we go. Right, on to our next caller, and it's going to be Brandon Lester, another caller from the US of A. USA. Let's. You know what? I'll have to start getting with all our sound effects that we've got. We've got Indiana Jones for Graham. We're gonna have to get the American national anthem on. Yeah. We've got so many callers from the US. We're gonna have to do it. Right, let's get Brandon in. What's going on, mate?
What's going on?
Hi.
Hello.
I feel like I'm there with you, mate.
Location. We've got
Is that a little loud for y'all?
How are you, mate? You all right?
I'm doing all right, just at work, doing things.
We can't hear you very well, mate. It's very loud.
Sorry about that. Is it getting better now?
Yeah, that's a bit better. Go on, mate. Talk to us. How are you feeling about Leicester City right now?
I'm actually feeling a lot better than I have had in the past and been very upset. And I'm actually, since Sitwitz has come in and everything, it's a bit brightened my day. And I also want to say, $35 million for Mads. I don't like this whole loan and then pay later. If you're going to come in for him, pay the $35 million and that's it. If not, I don't want to do this loan. Just don't want it, just so you can find out that you may or may not want him. If you want him, pay the $35 million. That way we can go in and reinvest. I've been doing a lot of scouting on strikers, and I think there's somebody out of the Bundesliga 2 named Max Morstead. 19 years old, 6'4", big lad, can score a goal. And then you got somebody named Shmi Kolasai out of Besiktas, who we've been linked with Oxlade Chamberlain, who plays with Besiktas. And I think both of them, around 10-15 million for them after the 35 million, pay for them, give a young striker, just like most of our squad, a chance to see what they could do. Take a chance on them, and then take the rest and put it in the pocketbook.
Brandon, somebody wants to know what you're building.
I work at a powerhouse. It's got a big, giant coal plant.
Right, okay, fine. Brandon, I'm so sorry, but I can barely hear you, so I'm going to let you go.
You're fine. You're fine.
Thank you for coming on and making your point, mate. I heard what you said in the most part, so cheers, mate. We'll see you soon, all right? Cheers, sorry to Brandon there. I couldn't hear much, to be honest with you. But I think he was saying about Mads. What was he saying? Kate, did you catch much of it? What was he saying about Mads?
Yeah, so he said if you get 35 for Mads, he would want the buy, not the loan, to then maybe buy. And then he said he would buy somebody for 15 million or 20 million from Besiktas. And I didn't quite catch the first person he said to spend the money on, but he was basically saying utilize the money, take the money, which is what we've been talking about, and spend it on 2 decent players that are a decent age as well.
Yeah. Okay. Got you. Right. Let's move on to the next caller. Another one from the US, and I am quick.
Yeah.
So. There we go.
Thanks for that.
What's going on, mate? How are you?
I'm good. Hi, Lox. Hi, Kate. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Yeah. Doing good. Good. Hotter here than in Missouri. Except Craig's in the bloody pool.
I know.
I think he's up there with his son getting his call.
Someone said, please be on a horse.
That'd be cool.
You need to come on.
Too hot. Actually, I do have a horse farm behind me. They train horses there.
Next time.
Racing horses there. They've got the starter gates and everything. Yeah, it's pretty good. So,
did you see the game on the weekend?
Yeah,
what
second half, I think. Yeah, second half. I like Will Alves, even though he's on 20 minutes. I think he's going to be not more than Monga, but he's one definitely, and I think that's why he was taken off so quick, maybe because he thought, okay, this guy's good. We can keep him. We've seen enough already, But he has some good runs and things like that. So I would say that this K-bet, I'm a bit behind here. Is this? I know it's not official, is it? Because we can't do betting anymore. The Premier League can't, and the Championship have 1 year left. So it must be a 1 year contract, right? If it is.
So I think the Premier League is still going. I think there's one more
I think
year
it was
in the
last
Premier
year,
League.
maybe one more. I thought it was all finished this year.
I thought it was 26. I thought it was one more.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
I'm just looking here. Because I think Burnley have still got. A betting sponsor. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I mean it's not confirmed, obviously, because the club haven't released anything. But we've seen the kit, right? We've all seen the kit, and it had K-bet on it. Okay.
Yeah, but not official, right? Because the pink one was the official third one, and that's what I was thinking with that line. If you've got a logo, how are you going to get it on there? Because there's a set size that has to fit in. They'll have to sort of shove it over here with that line down for the pink one. That's why I don't know whether it's official. With cockfighting, that is bad. I don't know if you know anything about cockfighting.
Yeah,
I didn't. Trust me.
They did, but it was the non-PG version. Not that it's PG.
Yeah, they put things on the claws, Yeah, it's nasty. It's SPCA, RSPCA, and everything, and it's just nasty, like bullfighting. Anyway, get on to better things. Ben Nelson, he's injured, right? Because he never played.
We assume so. We assume he's injured because he's not. Yeah, there's no. He's over in Austria and he didn't play.
Oh, okay. So. Yeah, I know because there was rumors about somebody sniffing around for him as well. Now, all rumors.
Chelsea like him. Enzo likes him.
I didn't want to say the Chelsea word, but yeah. I hope not. I hope I'll just be done with Chelsea if they get him.
I know.
I heard they were trying to get rid of KDH. Apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, he's on one of the lists, and Chilwell and a few others. He's
that's not a surprise.
Yeah.
Well, the chill one isn't sad for me, mate. He's a cock. He is. You can bet on Chilwell and the cockfighting, actually, mate.
Yeah, and he'd lose. He'd run away.
Yeah, he would lose. But yeah, I mean, Kate, I was going to ask you about. Charles mentioned Will Alves. I think the hype died down for quite a while on him because of his injuries, and I think at Cardiff he had a decent time at Cardiff. He didn't stand out or anything as far as I'm concerned, but he did impress in those 20 minutes, and he was kind of finding himself in that number 10 role, I suppose. Played a good through ball in. I think it was Iron. Nearly scored from that. He looked good.
Yeah, I think so. He's just a natural ball player, isn't he? It's so interesting now that the youth that are coming through are all ball players. Like 20 years ago, it would have been a little bit hit and miss. But with Alves in particular, in that gap as well, in that position, he can just create space, which we never really have, and we never had last season at all. Really, no one could create that space to just free up some of the wingers and get the ball through to the striker. So he's awesome. I really like Will Alves. I just think the hype has died down, because how excited can you get for how long, and you still don't see anybody, you still don't see him. And that's where it kind of like, well, okay, then maybe he's not great, or there's something wrong, or he's never going to get a shout at Leicester and he's just going to be sold. Like, you can't hold on to the excitement forever. It just kind of dies a bit if it's never going to be realised. And it feels a bit like that. Like, if he's not going to be part of plans this year, then we should just sell him, because I think he's probably got a value to him that we could do with if we're not going to use him.
I agree, but his replacement, Charles, Lewis Page, he's been very good in pre-season so far as well.
Yeah, I think we should don't sell any of the youth. They're all going to gain money. It's obviously the older ones that with their value is depreciating almost on a daily basis. I think Cody is the Rangers is the issue with Cody. That's not on our side. We're trying to get rid of him. And I heard that he wanted to leave officially, which means he waived his signing on fee if he went to Rangers. That's how desperate he wants to get out. But it's the salary. We might be able to give him away, but even the salary, I'll have to take a pay cut probably to go up to there. So I don't know. On the striker front,
I was going to say, we know Cody is, well, we don't know he is the player, but he is rumoured to be the player that was on 70 grand a week, and when we were promoted back to up to 100 grand a week, I imagine now he's back down to 70. Because I'll tell you what the interesting thing is with Cody and Winks in particular is that we know that when we were relegated the first time round, all the players had a 30% cut of their wages, but I imagine that the players who were signed in the Championship, I don't know if you know what I mean, I don't know how that works. Well, I suppose Cody's is a 30%, right? Because he went up to 100 and he's back down to 70. But Winks, for example, who was rumoured to be on 90 grand a week, I imagine he's still on 90 grand a week, this season, because that's how much he was put on when he signed. So that's interesting. But I think Winks is going to be a big part of Marty Cifuentes' plans, to be honest with you. So
I think he likes Skip, though. He kept hugging on to Skip.
He had a lot. Well, he's probably got no choice, has he, Kate? Skip was paid, 20 million quid. He's locked with him, I think. He's got no choice. He's got to do something with him.
Well, isn't that the last thread that Skip's really got with some of the fans, is that, he'll be all right in the Championship, though. So that's kind of where we're at with him. And if he's not, well, I think all hell will break loose. But yeah, I think he is going to be okay in the Championship. That's the optimist in me. And look, for one of the players that are paid that kind of money, 90 grand in Winks, I actually didn't have a problem with that last year, because he was one of, if not the best player on the pitch last season in the Championship. So at least someone earned the keep and got us up. And you know what I mean? I know he's not covered himself in glory this year, but so many of them haven't. So it would be interesting to see where he sits market level wise, like in terms of the rest of the Championship or the recently relegated teams, because I think that's where you've got to look. It's all right complaining about a 90 grand a week player, but if that's what everybody's paid of that level of football, then that's what you got to pay. It's painful. These contracts are killing football, and no one's prepared to do anything about them at the minute.
Charles, I did a bit of research, by the way, mate. It is next season in the Premier League, like the 26, 27, but you can still have the gambling sponsors on the arm. What
about the Championship?
That's the following year then. I think that was a year later.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 years later.
Why don't we do it across the board?
Yeah, and obviously it's the Sky Bet Championship. I wonder if they're going to change their name. I don't know, because, bizarre.
True.
Anyway, well, this is what I'm saying. How can the Championship ban gambling sponsors when they're called the Sky Bet Championship? It makes no fucking sense. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Don't ask any questions, Locks. Don't ask any
that's
questions.
True. Yeah, that's true. And the Sky Bet logos all over the stadium as well, everywhere, all over the stadium. So anyway, go on, Charles. Move.
Sorry, I think we might have got a bit of a delay. Anyway, on the striker front, I heard Daniel Farker has told Patrick Bamford to go away. We don't need to go anywhere near Patrick Bamford. Please don't. I don't want anybody at that club going, ooh. Do not go ooh to Patrick Bamford. He is like really bad. I do have an alternative, but it's like I want to throw a name in the pot. It's really weird, and it's an old guy who is a free agent, who is an incredible striker. He's not as old as Vardy. He is available. I'm not saying get him, but if he's still available at the end of it.
Vardy's really old.
Let me get. Are you going to say Kelechi Iheanacho?
No.
Who are you saying?
No, one of the best strikers in Europe.
Go on.
Thomas Muller. We got Cambiato. I'm not saying he'd actually come. He's 35. He's left Bayern Munich. He's probably going to get loads of offers in Germany, I guess. But I don't know if it's. I mean, how many goals would he get in the Championship?
Probably 150 grand a week in the Championship. Become the highest paid player in Championship history.
Yeah, but if he's on a free, that's how we justify it, 1-year contract. I just threw that because I was looking through a list of free agents this morning. I thought Thomas Muller's still a free agent. Because
what does that tell you? Nobody else has picked him up yet. That's all you need to know, to be honest with you. And I don't think he dropped down anyway. But another one people keep mentioning Calvert-Lewin, Callum Wilson.
No.
You know what I mean? Injury-prone players who haven't been prolific in years is, you know, that's why people are looking at. I saw
about Andy Carroll.
You know what? Actually, I did see something about Andy Carroll the other day. He signed. Let me bring it up. Right, he signed for.
And he had a terrible debut, apparently.
Dagenham.
Dagenham. Yeah, Dagenham.
Yeah.
On a 3-year contract, because apparently Dagenham have been taken over by Qatari owners, which is mental.
Yeah.
So the best they could do is Andy Carroll, but yeah, that's it. That's an interesting signing. There you go. So he's not available anymore. Sorry, Charles, can't get him in.
Yeah, he was somewhere else before playing for hardly anything. Somewhere in Europe, I can't remember. He just left them. They were paying him like $5,000 a week or something. If that, it was still really good. But
Bordeaux. Yeah, he was at Bordeaux.
Yeah, Bordeaux.
Scored 11 goals in 20 games though. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Not too bad. But yeah, I mean, I think we should go for loans for the striker. Try and get a loan from somebody's academy or something, or something. Chelsea get one of their leftovers. Depends what with Mads and Bilal. I think we should hold on for as much as we can, as late as we can, probably, and see where it goes. As long as they don't go on strike, I don't think their temperament is for them to be a Riyad Mahrez and just down tools. But I always go back to this Mads thing. There's a lot of goalkeepers out there. And I saw that was it Bournemouth bought Chelsea's 4th goalkeeper. Wayne Hennessy is out there. Norwich let that Brian Gunn or not Brian Gunn. I think Gunn is on the market. Fraser Forster's on the market. Yeah, there's a few out there, and there's that Ramsdale. He's still out there. So I just, if they come back and say, "Oh, these options, we'll only give you 15 million," tell them to go ahead. No. There's a limit. We want at least 25 for this guy.
So are you a hanger-on then, even if it means breaching PSR?
I don't give a damn about PSR anymore today. I'm just done. We tried that with KDH. We tried to get it. We sold him 45 million, and we still screwed up. So I'm under the thing. I don't know.
That's true though. The KDH one's true. That was very frustrating because, as we know, the media, and I know Kate says never believe what you read, which is fair enough, but the media had you believe that we sold Kid in Dewsbury Hall for PSR reasons, and we now know we breached it anyway, and we're going to be punished for that this year. So, Josh Windass is another one that people are talking about, but he looks like he's going Wrexham.
Norwich are trying to sabotage that.
Really?
And Coventry. Yeah.
I think a lot of these players will go to Wrexham. You know what I mean? It's for the fun of it. To be honest with you, not every day you get to chill out with Deadpool, eh? Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
Vegas at the end of the season and all sorts.
Oh yeah, Vegas.
This is one that we keep talking about. I think would be a good signing on loan. Mark Guiu, if it was possible, it's from Chelsea. I would like that. Well, I don't know about that, Charles, because
no chance.
Why?
He is really good.
Play him?
I don't know. I mean,
he's close.
I know he's close. They're trying to get rid of a lot of players. I mean, they'll keep him, what is he, like 17, 18? Is he something like that? I think he's really young. But he was, they robbed Barcelona of him. They were really pissed that he'd left because he was one of their, he was one of their star, because they got him last year, right? That's one of their, prodigies. And he's apparently going to be.
They signed him for 6 million.
Yeah, that was like because he hadn't played for Barcelona, I don't think, or anything. Like, he's one of their youth things. Hadn't played 6 million. He's supposed to be the thing. I don't know. We could try, but it's difficult. A lot of those balls in the air about what we're going to do. What's the PSR going to be? Whether it's going to be 1 hit or 2 hits on the PSR now. It's just getting worse and worse. I think Nick DeMarco is going to come in again, and I think he may be able to do something. Just there's nothing in writing about points deductions. There's nothing there. It's like they go behind a curtain. Independent commissioner picks out a number. Okay, it's going to be like 11, 12. Well, how do you get to that? It's just a mess, really. But we just plow on. I think we'll make playoffs. I'm really impressed with our new guy, Marty.
Well,
I'm really impressed with him. I'm optimistic, and
I think a lot of us are very, very, very excited, mate. So touch wood, fingers crossed. Hope it all works out. Charles, I'm going to let you go, mate. Thank you for calling. We'll see you very soon, mate. All the best. Okay, fuck it. Should we go 2 in a row?
Oh, I thought you meant Americans.
Hey,
boys. Hey, Kate. How are you? Look at this. Got the merch on.
Look at that. Look at
Lanny
that.
will be happy, won't he?
Yeah, banging. Nice one. Caller of the day.
There you go.
Looking very tanned, Mark. Been nice weather?
Yeah, I went away last week. Came back. I went to Cayman Islands for a few days. So it was nice.
Ooh, is that where they all go for tax avoidance, to Cayman Islands?
To live, yeah. Apparently no tax there. We were told. We were speaking to someone over there. No tax here.
Very nice. Is there a gambling company over there that fancies sponsoring Leicester City? Maybe.
Probably. Probably not legit.
Talk to us then, Mark. How you feeling, mate, about Leicester, the new manager, all of this good stuff? You positive?
Yeah, everything's positive, right? No more emergency streams. Let's have none of those in the next few weeks, please. Exciting, right? It's just a breath of fresh air, not to be talking managers and what's going to happen there and whatever. It took too long, but that's behind us now, right? Let's move on, look forward, and everything so far. Yeah, it's early days, but everything so far that it's really positive. Everything around the guy, not least the style of play. That I think we've all seen early glimpses on those first couple of. The first and second half at the weekend, just the pressing, everything, and what's exciting is that he probably had 3 days to get some of his ideas across, 3 days of training, which is nothing. He's just touching the surface, isn't he, right now? So 3-6 months down the line, hopefully you can imagine what we might be then, well-oiled machine, but yeah, the rotations I was surprised actually to be able to visually see it so clearly, that early on. I thought, maybe it wouldn't be like that, but so really good.
Maybe because on the weekend, I kept talking about how remembering back to when Enzo first came in and a very thorough, rigid system, style of play, whatever you want to call it, and he got that across to the players very quickly. And so I went to the Northampton game. I think that was the first game under Enzo, and the players just seemed to click straight away. And it's early days, of course, and it was a very weak opposition on the weekend, Kate, but they seem to be picking it up fairly well. We've still got 2.5 weeks or something till the first game of the season. We've got 2 friendlies on Friday, which, the squad split in 2. We've got the Fiorentina game at the King Power Stadium. Hopefully, come the first game of the season against Sheffield Wednesday, they'll be pretty well drilled in it, with the new system, and they'll be ready to go.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what we're hoping for, isn't it? I still think, he'll have had 2.5 weeks with the team. That's more than enough time, really, I think. to get his ideas across. He's obviously, when do they come back from Austria? Is it on Sunday? So they'll be gone a little while as well. I mean, spending the best part of 10 days together with a new manager who plays the way that the majority of the squad play, which is the problem that we had last season with Ruud and Cooper, is that they didn't play that way. And it was a complete almost re-engineer of the squad and what they were used to. So like I said earlier, like Kingy's done an amazing job in doing the really hard groundwork. You know, I've read quite a lot of autobiographies about some of this ugly stuff that happens in pre-season and getting yourself back fit. You know, if you listen to like Jamie O'Hara on TalkSport, he talks about it with dread. Like getting that done before the new manager comes in is really important. And Kingy's done that. So really, Marty's just had to step in the door and he's got a ready-made, fit football team that he just have to almost tinker with, I guess, to get them playing again. And couple that with some really exuberant, motivated youth, and you know, you can be cooking quite quickly. And I'm hoping that's the case.
Did you see that Jamie O'Hara thing where he said that he hid in a bush?
Yeah.
They were doing in pre-season, they were doing laps of this park or whatever, and he came back out of shape and unfit, and he just hid in a bush and waited for them to do another lap before he comes back in. Yeah. But no, I mean, I don't know about you, Mark, but like one thing that's been very evident in all of the media that the club have been putting up, and also from watching the game on the weekend, was he's a very hands-on manager, like in training as well. Because there was an article earlier in the season that Ruud apparently didn't lead training at all. It was Barry Murphy. He's the one who kind of led the training. Where with Marty, it looks like he's front and center of it. You know, it's like similar to how Enzo was. He wants to make sure that the ideas are getting across to the players. He's getting involved in more mental dealing with Skip. He was there with Skip. I think he even gave him a pat on the arse as well. Actually.
Yeah, cool.
But he's hands on with the players. He's making sure that they're in on it and all of this stuff, and that's encouraging to see.
Yeah, I think that's important, and that's what you want. I don't like the managers where they're taking us kind of a back seat. And I think the players appreciate that more, right? They're going to be more in tune with what the message the manager's trying to get across when it's coming straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. I think you can tell I don't know if you heard his interview after the game. He about lost his voice, so he's the amount of you see these videos that he's shouting and encouraging on the training videos. So yeah, I think that's all good. I don't know what kind of, I was trying to look. It's hard to tell in the training whether he's one of these that's bouncing about on the touchline or more passive. But we'll see, I guess, more as we get into the games get more competitive. But
what was your view, Mark, on whether you hang on for the best price or not?
Yeah,
it's tough, right? I mean, I think we're in a nice position with the goalkeeper because of what we have is ready to step in. If we didn't have that luxury, my answer might be different, and I might be like, ooh, unless it's like top level bid. But I think you get 25 million for Hermanson bid come in. I was saying yesterday, I think we've got to learn our lessons. I know Hermanson is not necessarily a contract issue with like 1 year left, but we've got to learn our lessons. Too many players have gone for either nothing or we've just lost them through ridiculous management, right? Mismanagement of contracts. So I think anyone with a year left of the contract, you've got to entertain any bid that comes in for them. I mean, hopefully we can get moving Ndidi on. He seems the most obvious one that we're going to get out the door. It's just going to be difficult with the others. Cody, I just don't see that Rangers move happening. I mean, he's going to have to over half his current wages. I mean, even if he went down to, what's he on now, 70, so 35K. I was looking yesterday, Rangers' top earner there is on 40K. So are they going to pay that kind of wedge for Cody? But I see Vestergaard, he's going to be a mainstay, I think. I think he's going to he's going to like it or like it not. He's going to have a, and we know he's going to have a good season. He's going to fit in perfectly to the system, which is not a shame, but I mean, I feel, I was just so hoping to see a Coley and Nelson. So I just hope it's one of those next to him and not Sideshow Bob,
It should be. It depends if Coley stays around. Of course, he is, I don't want to be unfair on the others, but I would say Hermanson, Bilal, and Akoli are probably the three biggest sellable assets, which says all you need to know about the current squad. I'm trying to think of, you've got Fatau, of course, but he's only just back from an injury. The reason I include Akoli on that is because he's more of a modern day centre back. He's quicker than the others. He's younger. He's on the fringe of the Italian squad, so they could cash in on him. But let me bring this up now. We will get the opinion of the last couple of guests as well. But this is what the results of the chat were, Kate. There you go. 78% of people said they would accept lower offers for players for PSR reasons. Only 21% said hold on and risk the PSR breach. Does that surprise you a little bit, Kate? Or do you think?
No, it's about where I expected, to be honest. I think most people's initial fears of the PSR issue and just trying to somehow wriggle out of that. We thought it would take 3 or 4 years, and we're probably going into hopefully the final year of it now. We've just got to behave ourselves for one more year, and I think we're through with those 2 horror years. There's also always going to be the people that approach it like a business. You hold out for the money for the right kind of asset, but football doesn't behave like a normal business. It's not at all. The penalties of normal businesses don't apply in football at all. It's completely different, and you've just got to try and keep on the right side of the line over the short term, is my view. It's a short-term business model, and it always will be for football whilst the rules are still as they are, because you just need the money in the bank to avoid the wolves at the door for the here and now. And like I said, you don't know what money's going to be offered in a year's time. You don't know if the player could do an ACL or have a horror injury. You just don't know. Player behaviour seems to dominate the sport, let alone the injury side of it, which is another risk. So you just don't. Mads could throw his toys out the pram and not do anything next season like Yuri did and just wind his contract down because the right club hasn't come in. There's so much risk and unknown with that variable, leaving it another year if you've had some money offered up front straight away.
Yeah, I agree with you. Right, Mark, thank you so much, mate, as always, for calling.
Okay,
Can I just say, Mark, you're looking great in that t-shirt, by the way, mate.
Yes, beautiful, isn't
it? Nice one, mate. See you soon. All the best. Cheers. Take care. Cheers to Mark. We've got a comment here. Even selling less than paper value helps PSR. It depends. It doesn't in every instance. So it will for Mads because we only signed Mads for 5 million quid or whatever it was. But with Oliver Skip, for example, if you sold Oliver Skip for £10 million now, it would actually be detrimental to PSR because his book value is only is 15 million or whatever it is, because you take off the
amortization of it, isn't it? Yeah.
Basically, yeah. So like Daka, if you sold Daka for 7 million now, it would be okay for PSR because he's been at the club so long. But yeah, Skip selling him
for smaller transfers, which I think is where people get irate. Like if things are to be believed that we were offered money for Luke Thomas earlier in the season, you have to factor in the wage saving as well, in my view, because it might not quite be the market value that's offered for him, or you wanted 7 or 8 or whatever. But if you add up all the wages that you're going to save to arguably buy a player that you actually want, because I'm not sure. There's a lot of our squad that you would never buy again had you had some hindsight. So you've got to factor in the wage saving as well, which is why I'm a big fan of getting rid of Wilf, because if you think about what he could be on, times that by his contract length, he's about due to be paid 9 million quid from us in wages. I think it's 8.2 when you factor in the wage over the next couple of years. So 9 seems fair value to me. Just get the wages gone, get them covered and pay them to somebody else who's more worthy of it, really.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Luke Thomas, 5 million quid. Mate.
Plus wages.
I still can't believe they didn't accept that. I can't lie. And I've heard a story since, could be shit, could be bullshit, but I heard the story since that he actually did want to go because he wasn't playing at the time in January.
He's not had a few years, has he? You've got to feel for him in a way. Like he's had some horror loans, he's had some horror performances with us. It's not been a good time for him. He probably wants to just enjoy his football again and be a regular player somewhere. And yeah, I don't know. Tough going.
Yeah. He could get that. He could get that under Marty. We'll have to see. Yeah, fresh start and all that. But
we've seen how Vestergaard transformed under Enzo. So anything is possible. He really was a dead horse. And Enzo somehow managed to revive him.
And this is why they worry, I think, some people about him playing this season, Vestergaard, and doing well. And then it's like Norwich, right? They got promoted. a lot of faith was put in their squad that got promoted because they did so well. But then they step up to the Premier League, they're a bag of shit, and they get relegated again, and then it's repeat. So you don't want to be in that situation again. Blame Enzo Maresca, by the way. He's the one who gave Vestergaard that new deal. So there we go. Right. Let's move on to... We've got 3 callers left. Our next one is... Let me bring this up.
Say his name and he appears. I believe it.
Rossi LCFC 1993.
There you go. Of course, it's Mr. himself, Ross. There we go.
Oh, God's sake. I was waiting for that.
What's going on, mate? How are you?
So, you had your Americans on, and I thought, it just reminded me 2 things. This. Who was the real American out of them?
I'm going to go Mark because he was wearing the merch. Even though he wasn't. Only one of them was a real American, actually. Actually, no, I think. If I'm not mistaken, I think Craig is actually Canadian. So I don't think any of them are American.
Oh, well, obviously, Keith from East... Sorry, Dallas.
Oh,
Foxes.
No. Sorry, I'm wrong. Brandon's the American.
Not even the power guy.
No,
he's... You've got Brandon, and you've got Keith. Sorry, Dallas Foxes. Oh, you don't know this, Kate, do you? I don't know if you watched the show back a few weeks ago. Keith from EastEnders.
Yeah.
Well, just before we get into it, so you had Elm. Is it Elm? Steve, is it?
Yeah.
Right?
Steve, yeah.
He looks like this geezer, Will Mello. Absolutely looks like him, to be fair. That was Steve. You had your first guest on. That's defo him. The more I look at him, and I was... Yeah, 100%.
I know what's coming, Ross. Pull out the one you did the other day, the AI one. I know that's coming.
Of you? Oh, of Lox Morgan. There we go.
That is you.
It is. That's because it is. I put him on Piers Morgan's face. That's why.
Brilliant.
That honestly, you need to show up your next show with that suit on and go, "Welcome to Blue Tinted Glasses Uncensored."
I want you to do one for me, Ross, in your spare time, mate. Manny as Simon Jordan, please. That would be great for the next show. If you can. Please.
Yeah, you got it.
Simon Cowell. Manny is Simon Cowell. That would be a good one.
Manny is Simon Cowell. No problem. That's fine. Well, I need a decent picture of Manny. The reason I'm putting this phone sideways because my phone's charging. So
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, that's not well. Yeah. Well, I would say people we're on about these, companies. But I'd rather have no sponsor on the shirt. I think it looks so much better. If you want my opinion on it, and let's be honest, a quarter of our team ain't going to be wearing them anyway. Monga, Evans under 18, and any few others under 18 anyway. And I love that pink shirt. Absolutely, honestly, I loved it. I had a look at it and I thought this is beautiful. And you know what? I prefer it with no sponsor, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do. Most shirts look great, don't they? Chelsea's shirt always looks great.
I think I remember. Can you remember our 125th year anniversary? We just got promoted back to the Championship, and we had the blue shirt. I've still got it somewhere. It's probably buried in my drawer or something. And we had no sponsor. We were sponsored by Laros. I can't pronounce it. Laros? Is that how you say it?
Laros.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't pronounce it properly. I loved that shirt where it was the badge in the middle, and then it was no sponsor. I thought that was beautiful. Obviously,
the leaked new home kit. This is what it would look like without a sponsor, and I think it looks lovely.
That looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does indeed. That is sexy. So there you go. So yeah, I agree with you. There is something to be said. See, I actually said the opposite though to you, Ross, on the weekend. I actually said I thought the pink kit needed a sponsor. I think it was a bit too plain in the middle. I think it needed something bang in the middle of it. Like a cockfighting sponsor.
You know which one I liked? My favourite third kit is the pink one from 1920 season. One of my favourite kits I like is the FA Cup winning one, where it said, because if you remember, we had it when it was. Correct me if I'm wrong on this one. When we were playing away in the Europa League, we had King Power.
Yeah.
When we were playing it away in the Premier League, we had that Thailand smiles with you.
Oh yes.
That we should do something like that again.
Here you go, look, Ross. I've got this. I just pulled this out from. I've got props.
All right, okay. I'm gonna say a bit worried there when you pull some out.
I've got all
okay.
these.
Oh yeah.
There you go. So the BC game kind of ruins it down there, don't it? Let's
See,
be honest.
I didn't want that shirt last season, and apparently, if I'm not mistaken, so when they brought that out last year, you actually could ask it without the sponsor. Is that correct?
Well, I was going to say, so this is something I found out on the weekend. Apparently, there is small print when you buy a shirt.
Yeah.
That you can ask for it. You can email the club with your order number and ask for the sponsor to be removed. So there's something important.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyone can do this, apparently. Anybody. So there you go.
I won't want that stupid K-Bet palaver if it is that. Again, I know there's always leaks and all that stuff. Just wait till it's come out officially and then we go from there. Because there's no point to all these leaks. Because let's be honest, all these leaks, it reminds me of Apple. Everyone's, it's going to be the next big thing and stuff. And I'm thinking, well, Apple don't really announce anything until the day. And then we go from there. So, but no, what I wanted to come on tonight was about, obviously, the players' speculation about leaving and stuff like that. And there is, you're touching about strikers. And now, while I was waiting in Gorilla, I was looking up a striker who was playing for Leyton Orient last season. He was on loan at Leyton Orient from QPR. Right. And he goes, and ironically, he's an American. Really, he's not a real American. He's just an American. And ironically, he played for FC. Youth career with FC. I am a real American. No, his youth career was FC Dallas, not Dallas Foxes, but FC Dallas. He goes by the name of Charlie Kelman. He played for Leyton Orient. Yeah, he played at Leyton Orient last season on loan. He's got. I know it's League One, but at the end of it, Charlie Kelman. At the end of the day, I'd rather us take risks dropping down in the league, or then going someone that's been released from Everton or with high wages or been released from somewhere else. He played 46 games last season and he got 21 goals. That's just under half, which ain't too bad. Well, if I'm honest, But what we're going to say, and I'd rather us drop down. I mean, to be honest, he's not really dropped down. He actually plays for QPR, and obviously we've just got a manager from Back Garden leave in Cifuentes. Maybe he wants to look at him. I'm not saying it, go him instantly, but he got in Player of the Season. I think he got in Player of the Month in April 2025. He reached winning the League One Golden Boot with 21 goals. He was actually the top goal scorer in League One last season. Now, I talk about stepping up. Casey McAteer, when Enzo just put him straight in the firing line, and he was on loan at AFC Wimbledon, which was a league below, which was in League Two, and it was one of our top 5 players that season in the Championship. So, if we're going to look at strikers, I mean something. If we look at strikers, is something like a bit cheap or anything. Maybe Charlie Kelman could be fit. Who knows?
What's your take on this, Kate? Because we were speaking about it at the end of the watch along, and we were saying that, do you bring in a championship proven striker who might score 20 goals this season for us, who maybe can't make that step up to the Premier League? Or could you maybe look at bringing in a loan, a younger player on loan from a Premier League club or abroad or whatever, who's only here for a year, who's capable of scoring goals, but you're not tied down to that striker for the next 3 or 4 years? These are the options that the club, a decision that the club has to take.
I think the loan option has to be the preferred one because A, because of the financial situation, and B, because of the way that we're going to play. I'm not sure there will necessarily be strikers available that will suit the style of play in the Championship that are playing for a Championship club at the moment. So I think you'd be better off just doing the loan agreement and seeing what's available. Because as a newly promoted club, if we get promoted, the options available to you probably increase quite a lot, and you'll have more at your disposal with a potential buy option with whoever comes in on loan. But it genuinely scares me buying players on a permanent and seeing a 5-year deal swung in front of us, because you just don't be shit. And we've just had so many bad apples. We just need to be a bit savvy with it now and learn some lessons, unless the manager knows them well, which is different. A punt really for such an important position when we've already had dross year after year. We've had Slamanis, we've had Dakas, we've had Musas. Don't pay them for 5 years. I'd rather buy young and lower down the league and see what happens.
Well, that's why I said, Kate, I think why would take a risk with someone in the lower league We did it with Harden. I mean, he only scored 200 goals and 500 games for us, which wasn't too bad. But I just think we should take a risk. That's me. But also, I want to quickly point out as well about all these players that speculate about leaving and stuff. They've still got to do pre-season with us, even if they are leaving and stuff like that, because then they'll be doing the training and stuff like that. Kasper Schmeichel did all our pre-season, and then he left. I think on my birthday, which was annoying, but he left around the 1st and 2nd of August out of nowhere. So I feel like people say we should never see these players again, but we've got to see them because they need to get their fitness right and stuff and everything like that. So
you're right, because people see Bilal play a preseason game and they're like, "Oh, he's staying." It's like, well, don't think that.
Same. I mean, I said this. I've said this before, and I say it again. I said it on the show that other day when it was a bizarre show. I came on other day when I joined in Locks. That was a shit show, but if you know what I mean. From the other day, from Thursday,
the late night show.
Yeah, that escalated fucking quickly.
Yes, it did. But what I'm saying is that we might end up seeing them play first couple of games before someone's going to come in. And let's be honest, if a team doesn't come in, we've got to stick with them. And whether we like it or not, if Cody ends up staying, if Faz ends up staying, if Bilal ends up staying, oh, brilliant. If Mads stays. That's a tricky one because I would prefer at the minute Stolaric, if I'm honest with you. I just think with the youth, obviously Monga, they've got to all given chance. Top goals for League One, sadly mostly over 28. He's 23. Kasper left and we were left with the worst goalkeeper. Oh God, yes. We were left with the worst goalkeeper ever. So whoever we bring in, we've got to sell before we can buy, if I'm not mistaken. So more than me, Locks. You're always on Twitter actively every day, every hour. I always see every time I'm on Twitter, I'm arguing with someone, or it's brilliant. I love it. I love a little popcorn at work. But I won't mind taking a punt down the lower leagues. Not like really low, but obviously we've done it before.
Not National League.
Well, listen, we've done that before, but that was in 2012.
Well, Ross, Richard Kone, who's at Wickham, he started in the Essex Northern League or something ridiculous like that, and now he finished top goal scorer of League One, and he's been linked with Championship clubs. I wouldn't mind him. That was my pick. But right, Ross, I've got to let you go, mate. I've got to let you go because we're getting on, and there's still some callers left. So
it's been a bit nice seeing you, Kate.
All the best, Ross. See you soon, mate. Bye-bye. Right, last two callers. We're saving the best till last. Ragsy, after he got called out earlier. Pew, pew, by who was it? Who called him out? Craig called him out.
Does your internet keep jumping? Is it my internet that keeps jumping?
I don't know. We'll ask the next caller whose internet is. I reckon it's yours.
I think you and Ross kept tripping out then, and then
It must be you. It must be you. It's a you problem. Right, let's get Ryan. Whose internet? Is it mine or is it Kate's? Whose is the problem?
Your internet's are fine. It's absolutely fine.
Okay.
We're both fine. There you go.
Of you, Ryan.
Yeah. Good to see you, Kate.
Yes, Andrew. How you doing?
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, not me.
No. I mean, you warm my day every time you won. It's fantastic. And you as well, Locks.
Talk to me, Ryan. How are you feeling about Leicester, mate?
Well, nothing's really changed. I didn't get to see the pre-season game though, unfortunately, so I can't really comment on it. But I'm more or less here to talk about transfers ins or outs and something like that. I think it's more likely that I think El Canoes is going to go, and Matt Summerson I think is going to follow suit. But what two interesting things I need to discuss about is James Justin, who's got 1 year on his contract. I'm more inclined to give him a new contract extension, to be honest with you. Like a 2-year deal with an option of a further year. And I think another player that I think we need to give a new contract to, I think is Ben Nelson, who's got, I think, 2 years left on this contract as well. Don't know what you guys think about that.
I like JJ. I changed my mind on him. I think last season proved that it proved that Cooper's system, how he had us set up, just left him so exposed. And that's why all those goals came down the right side. Now, of course, he didn't cover himself in glory. He made some errors, as did everyone. But, a lot of attacks came down that right-hand side, and he was exposed. And I think second half of the season, he was one of our better players. Going forwards, definitely. I think he was very good going forward.
I think he got better towards the end of last season. I will admit that.
The last
I think he did.
that assist for Vardy's last goal.
That's true. That was very good. He got, what a run that was.
Yeah,
but God,
it was ages since we saw that type of one. It was
I agree.
A long, long time. I haven't seen that
for
for
sure,
ages.
for sure. Kate, what would you do with would you give JJ another year, another 2 years? Because time is running out. He's got he's got like 11 months, 10 months left of his deal. He's been at the club a while now. We've gone through his injury and his rehab and all of that, and all of that stuff. And I feel like, there's not been loads of clubs after him, but he seems like a loyal guy. He seems like he would be happy to stay at Leicester going forward. So yeah, what would you do with him?
Yeah, I'd definitely keep him. He's one of my favourite players as well. I think in terms of dedication, he's had such a tough start to the season last year, and he's been able to come back from it. And I think it would be good if we could show him a bit of faith in him as well for maybe a 1 or 2 year extension and see where we're at, because I think he's brilliant. I think he's utilised in the wrong areas. I think he was completely left hung out to dry last year. He got no cover from Buonanotte in the early part of the season when he was played on that right side quite a bit. I don't really like him playing on the right, because why would you play someone that's played all his career on the left and switch him over? But it looks like that might continue. And I just think from his interviews, he seems to be one of the guys that really feels it quite hard. And I think they're hard come by, because Fast clearly doesn't. And other players in the team, he does live and breathe Leicester a bit now, because we signed him so young from being a hot prospect at Luton. And yeah, he's done well for us. He's got a real worldie in his back pocket as well. And I just want to see him going forward more. I think everybody does. I think he's always been about first or second on the sprints in pre-season, from what I understand. From coming back from 2 horror injuries to be able to still be a flat sprinter is awesome.
And I think he's a better left back, Ryan, than Luke Thomas and Victor Christensen.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to see him at left back, because I think
he played there
suits
on
him
Saturday.
more. I think that suits him more. I think than being on the right. Yeah. So yeah, Ben Nelson. I think we need to. I'd like to see him be a regular starter in this team. I'd rather have him.
Enzo didn't play.
Yannick Vestergaard in particular, alongside of Coley. I think that would be a good partnership at centre back.
Yeah, I agree. I think, Enzo didn't play him loads, but I think Enzo preferred him over Cody from what I could gauge from it towards the end of the season. Later on, I think he
scored a goal, didn't he? In one of the games that he played, I'm sure he scored a goal.
Maybe for Oxford a few weeks.
Yes, he did. Because I was there for one of those games that he scored.
Yeah, I've just checked. Yeah, he played 5 times and scored 1 goal. So there you go. So he's not. I think he's going to be really too much. He's had 1 injury, right? He's had 1 injury for Oxford, right? He hasn't had a bad injury other than that, has he? So I don't think he's injured too much. He's just had 1 big one. JJ can play right back, left back. Under under Rodgers, he played left centre back as well quite a bit.
I think he really wants to overlap, but he was not allowed to this season. You could see him physically stop, and that's where he comes into his own, because he can run with the ball really well. He's got a rifle on his foot, and he's not afraid of taking a player on. But he was kind of molded into being afraid to cross the halfway line, like Danny Simpson or something. Like it was really sad to see.
And I think under Rodgers, he got very high. Like he was very high up the pitch quite often, and he was very good. He was very good in
that was by far the best we saw out of Justin, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Because Jack says here, JJ's one of the good ones amongst all the bad eggs. One worth keeping for a few more years with us. JJ is the type of... See, in my opinion, JJ is the type of experienced player that we should have at Leicester. Not a Bobby Reed or a Jordan Ayew who are 34, 33, only played for the club for a year. It's the James Justin type of player that I think should be the experienced folk at the club.
I think, to be fair, I think, to be fair, even though I did give him a load of stick, I'm not with some of the fans did really first half of last season, but yeah, I think for me, I just think he just needs to be energized. I just think we need to get behind him a little bit more, and I think some of the criticism was a bit over the top, a little bit harsh at times, but I think Justin will turn things around. I think the next season, I really do.
Yeah. Okay, Ryan, I'm going to let you go, mate. Thank you so much for calling. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
We will see you very soon, mate. All the best. Cheers, Ryan. Oh, I removed Kate. My bad. I kicked you out. Is it right? There we go. Yeah, sorry. Right, final caller of the day. It is going to Ragsy. He heard somebody call him out in the chat, call him out on the stream earlier, and he decided to come on and have his say. So here he is. Although you could argue because of his hairstyle. No, I'm joking.
Why did you do this to me?
Blame Manny. He's the one who started all of that.
Oh my god! Yeah.
What's going on, mate? How are you?
Yeah, evening, Locks. Evening, Kate. How are you both?
Yeah, good. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. All good here. Yeah, I'll get like just various pelters just on.
Oh, here we go.
And I was like, no, it's a big up Craig, big up Paul in the chat as well and stuff.
You got some love off the back of that bad comment, though, didn't you?
Say that again.
You got some love off the back of the comment, though, didn't you? People were
yeah. No, it's always it's all good. It's all good. Like I take it all in. I take it all in, and it's all good. So like it's all calm. I have a peace in the chat. It's all good. That's it.
Are you positive, Ragsy? Are you positive?
Yeah, I'm a bit more calm in regards to football. I'm not really focusing on the club aspect. That's a whole different thing. But like with the football, Marty in like pre-season, the lads seem fit. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Like it's been a bit messy how we've gone and appointed him, but it's actually, we actually could be ready for the season now. And it's like, it's all starting to come together. I only saw glimpses of the game at the weekend, so I can't really comment on it too much. But from what I did see, I saw a style of play, I saw a decent tactical setup. I see ideas coming into place. So it's like, maybe like we might actually be ready for the start of the season. We can kick off and get going. So maybe it could all work out after all. We hope so. I wanted to talk about like with evaluation with Hermansen and hear me out on this. Okay. I'm not saying like, and I'm sitting here like, and I was going into the chats and stuff, maybe like 50, 60 million that we could potentially get for him. We may not. But at the minute, I don't think we should just be hasty and rushing into a decision when it comes to selling him. I know there's PSR concerns and there's trouble over it, but I think if we're seeing the values of like 25, 30 million, I think that's just a bit too low, like personally for me. And I think knowing that he's got 3 years left on his deal, I think we can afford to just hold off for 1 more year and then make a decision then. If it was a case that he had 2 years left, then I'd be in agreement. I may not like it, but I'm like, you know what? If that's the best bid that we're going to get, then we'll have to take it. We don't want a sort of situation going down the line like we look back in hindsight with Yuri Tillemans and you're thinking, okay, if we could have re-signed him or something, but we don't want to go down that route again when he's going like running his contract down to 3. We can't have that again.
What about this? What about this?
Absolutely not. That's
because
just
I think he's going to go, Ragsy. I think he's going to go this summer, and I think it's either going to be a club pays what we want, or he goes for a loan with an option to buy. That's the way I see it. I don't think he's going to be here come the start of the season, mate. And I think the club have prepared for life with Jakob as the number 1. Didn't they give him the number 1 shirt as well? I know it's because Danny Ward left, right? But they didn't give Mads the number 1 shirt. They didn't change him from 30 to 1. They changed Jakob to number 1. So that would suggest to me, and the way that they sent him for his surgery 2 games before the season ended, started Jakob in those games, who did rather well actually. I think they're prepared for life without Mads, and I think that's why we're seeing Begovic linked. I think they're going to accept a bid for him this year, and I don't think it's going to be anywhere near 60 million. Anywhere near.
I'm not saying like a figure of 60 million and stuff, but I'm saying like at this moment, yes, he may like internally, and you look at discussions that he may want to go and he does have desires to leave eventually, but he's still contracted here. We still hold the cards here. And yeah, you know, we can sit here and negotiate a deal. And like, and at the minute, he's still being professional. He's still not really kicked up a fuss like Fofana has. And there is still some value. Like, we know what he's worth. We know what he's fully capable of. If, you know, we can get his stock back up high again. He's had an injury this season. I think that has damaged his stocks when it comes to the outside perspective of what they think of Hermansen. I think they sort of saw him as like a huge potential, but then because we didn't really see him for like a third of the season, then like he's not really going to gauge any sort of interest when it comes to bids coming in. So, and look at James Trafford, for example. Like, no one touched him with a barge pole this time last year. Now he's been touted and he's like on the verge of like a Newcastle and Man City and stuff. And it's like, that's after a year in the Championship when, you know, he's performed really well. And I think we just need to sort of switch our priorities as a fan base and just be like, look, we just need to focus on like who we want in our team that's going to give us the best chance to be promoted. And that's really, I don't want to be dwelling on like PSR and being financial advisors, because it's an impossible job. I just want us to sort of like sit here and focus on our promotion sort of intent and stuff. And if it comes to it, and let's say, look, if they reach it to like 40 million and you go, okay, you know what, that is a pretty good fee, and we're probably unlikely to get that sort of value for next season, then maybe we have to consider like taking that fee. Then I'll sit here and open a discussion for it. I just think, don't rush into it. Don't rush into it for resolving PSR, because likely the money that we get this season is not really going to be reinvested back into the team. It's not really going to be resolving like the wage issues when we've still got the likes of Cody and Vass and all these other players that we still got to shift out to then go and clear the wage bill. So it's more likely it's going to be sort of to clear the sort of hole that we've made there.
Let me, Kate, what's your take on Hermansen then in particular? Because as I said, I would say the majority, I think the majority of Leicester fans, even Ragsy probably, when we're expecting Mads not to be here, you know, when the season starts. So, you know, what position would you take with Mads in particular? Because some of the fees being reported, like 20, 25 million, they are low. We saw that the club valued him at 40 when Chelsea had a sniff last summer. But we were a Premier League club then, just promoted. We're now a Championship club, and it does affect things.
Yeah, it really does. And it comes back to the comment that I was saying earlier about assessing the risk. Really, the risk is there's loads of risks associated with waiting, and that is that you could do a Yuri, you could get to the final couple of years of your contract, and there's whatever obstacles in the way for you to walk through the revolving door into a new club. There's injury. He definitely wasn't the same player when he came back from injury anyway. So will he come back the same? I don't know. Anything could happen to him next season. He could have a recurrence that people now know about. So for me, if the offer is in the ballpark, and that's the $1 million question, I guess, of what the ballpark would be, say upwards of 35, then I think, you know, this is the age-old model that fans have wanted us to revert back to, and having that golden nugget sale every summer to return to the good times. So the golden nugget doesn't have a minimum price of 60, 70, 80 million. It's whatever your squad produces on that moment in time for me. And I just think that it's just a risk waiting. And if you don't get promoted next year, which isn't a given, then that value might drop even further because people think we're even more desperate. So it's weighing up the risk, but I totally get Ragsy's point of view that there's plenty of time left as well. The transfer window doesn't close till the 1st of September. We've got plenty of time to bargain for once. It's not a last minute job. And I get why you would also want to hang on. That's why it's so difficult with these players' transfers, let alone the contract negotiations that take place afterwards and agreeing personal terms, because there's just so many moving pieces and so many variables between acting now and waiting a year. Anything could happen. And I think you have to have a minimum price in your head, really. I don't know what wages he's on. He's probably not on a lot, but maybe he got a big bump with being promoted because he's a Premier League keeper. I don't know.
That could be the case. I mean, I think Clibo's being 20 million. I would say if there was an offer of 40 million, I would bite their hands off, and I would say absolutely 40 million pounds. We've got Jakob. I think that would go a long way for us where we're at the moment. I understand some people say they think he's worth 50, 60, and I think even at the start of last season, when he was going through that great period where he had the joint most saves in Premier League history or something against Arsenal.
That's all you need to watch, isn't it?
Well, back then, people were saying, "Oh my God, this guy's £60 million goalkeeper." Football's a humbler, and as time's gone on, his performances dropped off slightly. He wasn't at fault or anything. I'm just saying they did drop off. I agree, Clip. I don't think we're going to get an offer of 40. I'm just saying that if we did, I think you have to take that personally. Last question for you, Ragsy, before we end, mate, because we've been going on a long time. Last question for you. Keep it brief. I want one name. Who would you like to see coming as a striker for Leicester in this coming season, or would you stick with Jordan Ayew?
No. I'm interested with Mark Gui. That's Gui. Gui. I don't know.
Yeah,
how
Gui.
you say it. Yeah. Spanish connection. Maybe Smarty could deal something there on loan. Yeah, I'm happy with free agents, loan agents at the minute. So like that's fine. He'd be of interest to me.
Kate, have you got one for me?
For me? That was really Leicester.
For me. Sorry. I don't like
no,
that.
I haven't.
Like
I quite like buying someone known from League One or something like that as an extra. Like if you can get someone really cheap, less than 5 million, who will take a modest but probably a massive pay rise for them, but a modest salary for us, I think that could also be worth a punt. Because when we're starting with Daka, which is zero, it's a flat zero with Daka, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. He seems such a nice guy, and we've all willed him to do well, and he just can't do it. So we're starting with zero with him. So anybody else that looks like there could be a young hot prospect from either the Championship youth setups or League One where they've already started scoring some goals wouldn't be a bad shout for me, because it's a real lower risk strategy. And then someone like Ragsy just said that has got a bit of pedigree, is perhaps on a lot of clubs' radar, but just appreciating you'll have to pay some money for that.
Paddy Bamford, anyone?
Paddy Bamford.
Absolutely not.
No, not at all. Right, Ragsy, thanks, mate. Thanks for calling in. Much appreciated. We'll see you very soon. All the best. We don't need to do caller of the day because we know it is Mark with his tan and his BTG t-shirt. He wins caller of the day. Do you agree?
Okay. I was going to give it to the guy in the pool, but because he said
Craig.
he gave me good vibes, didn't he?
Yeah, that's true. There you go. Joint caller of the day. Joint caller of the day.
US BTG rep is brilliant.
Yes. There you go. Right, final thing from me is if you like to play FPL, anybody out there that likes to play FPL, here is something for you. Let me share this on the screen. So if you play FPL, this is a league that you can join. Leicester aren't in the Premier League, of course, this season, but you can still take part in the Fantasy Premier League by joining this league. And I can say that the winner will win £200. There you go, £200. And if you win the cup, it's 50 quid. If you win both, of course, 250. So that's the link to join. If you do play FPL, you can use that link on screen. That's an L, not an I, by the way. 75L8YR. Use that link to join. You can
Have we got the results of the poll?
Yeah, I'm going to bring it back up there. So would you rather accept lower offers for players for PSR concerns? Sorry, it's worded horribly. YouTube has a character limit. Would you rather accept lower offers for players for PSR reasons, or hold on but risk PSR breaches? 78% of people said to accept the lower offers. So there you go. That's where people's heads at, Kate. And I think it's probably the wise decision with where the club's at the moment, to be honest.
It's the low risk decision and money in the hand decision. Spendo. People want spendo. We need to spend some money, but to do that, we need to make some first. Yeah, I completely agree. Right, let me see there you go. Somebody asked for the link. I've put the link in the chat if you want to join the FPL League. There you go. Okay, that's it. We're going to be live tomorrow at 7 p.m. for
the match analysis. Of course, there was a lot of exciting stuff to learn from that game. We wouldn't normally do it for a friendly. We probably won't do it for the next friendly, but it was Marty Cifuentes' first game, so we've got to do the match analysis. Plus, all the footage is copyright free on YouTube, on Leicester's YouTube, so it's easy to steal that footage basically for the analysis. So make sure to tune in to that 7 p.m. tomorrow. It'll be a nil and it'll be Duck. Talking about that, breaking it all down, and what we can expect for the remainder of the season. Thanks, Kate. Much appreciated. Thanks for joining me. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to all the callers. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit subscribe. And remember, you could win 200 grand from Match Bingo this season.
How much? How much?
200 grand. You're about to find out how much. Cheers all. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye. Massive thank you to today's sponsor, Match Bingo. Over 200 grand has been paid out to players so far by taking sports betting, football and bingo and combining them into one amazing app. Make sure to get your bingo card for any Leicester City game in the upcoming season. Click that link in the description or via the QR code on screen.